Hey Deuterinos, my name is Cruggles and welcome back to Destiny 2. I have some things to talk about this episode, which I just realized I have to re-record because I have to re-record this audio because I tried multiple attempts and I fucked up on the recording. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that though. Actually, I will say this. I am combining two interference missions into one episode in this video. The one from 2 weeks ago and the one from last week. Because I've had an issue with my throat. You might actually be able to still hear it in my voice. Because it's still fucking bothering me. And, like, there's still phlegm just kind of sitting in my throat. So, yeah,
Enemies of the light swarm the roots of the great tree. Bring the seed and banish them once more.
what else was I gonna say? I do gotta admit, this is an interesting turn of events for the... Looking back, or... There are multiple things I'm gonna talk about in this episode. I have to, like, figure out what I want to do for each episode. Oh yeah, so that this first half, the reason I have to record the audio for it is because of my throat. I actually, like, it got to the point where I was sick. I mean, I actually got sick to the point where my throat was swollen or something, and, like, I couldn't swallow anything. I could barely swallow anything. I could barely it was, like, harder to breathe. It was, like, constantly sore, and talking in itself was a pain. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna record this and not talk, and I'll record the audio later. But the other thing is, though, what else was I gonna say? I can't remember what else I was gonna say. Oh, yeah, the other reason I had to record the audio for this separately is because we, trying the words out. Because my parents were home and I didn't want them interfering with the recording. Like, not that they wouldn't directly interfere with the recording. They usually understand, hey, CJ, you're recording. Usually they get it. They call me CJ at home, by the way. And, anyways. So, yeah. By the way, I never told you guys I'm a CJ. Anyways. I'm just thinking about the fact that I'm actually a CJ, because I haven't thought about that in a while, goddamn. Because I'm so used to being called Craig. So anyways, oh yeah, I wanted to talk about some stuff this episode, like in regarding the game. One thing I want to talk about, the idea that Eris is Savathun. See, there are so many good points about that. Because I've seen it come up recently in, like, on Destiny 2's subreddit. And, you know, I haven't really looked at the post, but I kind of just, like, saw the topic and, like, thought about it. I didn't want any spoilers for like data mining or whatever, so I usually try not to read into things too much. You know, it makes sense. Because Eris, like, just because Eris's light was stolen, why does she have to have the 3 eyes? Like, what did Crota do to her? And another little thing. While we're at it, I missed with my grenade launcher, so I'm just like, okay, that's it. Fuck you. But no, and then also, wouldn't it make more sense if Savathun was either possessing her or something? Or, like, took her guys or something, but, like, couldn't get rid of the 3 eyes? And also, that Ahamkara bone that she has on her, because I think that rock's actually an Ahamkara bone. It would mean that it's potentially... There's something about Savathun, like, holding on to a worm or something that she talks to. That would explain... It would mean that that rock is probably that worm that she talked to. So, you know, there's other little... Also, the Truth to Power book. Supposedly, the data signature comes from... Also, it's interesting they're calling her the Taken Queen now, because she doesn't directly have the power to take, as far as I know. So, as far as I know, she uses, Curia to take. Curia is the Taken, the Taken that she, I'm trying to get the words out. Curia is a Taken that she actually, that she is a Taken Minotaur or something. Or, sorry, Taken Hydra. And because it's simulating Oryx, you know? But the thing is, and it's signed by Eris, supposedly, but Eris says she doesn't recognize it. So theoretically, of course, it could be that Savathun is trying to trick us into thinking that she's Eris, which would make a lot of sense as well. So, and after all, so, you know, we really don't know. Of course, there's also the idea that us conjecturing about Savathun makes her more powerful. So I probably shouldn't even be conjecturing about her. But hey. Also, I do gotta admit, I like the idea that they made Nokris alive, because it actually gives the strike a reason to be able to be repeated in lore. It doesn't like the strike where you kill Nokris instead of the actual story mission. Other little things. What was I gonna say? I thought there was something else I was gonna say and I can't remember. Fuck. Oh, right. So I'm wondering if like we're gonna actually end up fighting Nokris or what. I mean, I'm not gonna say. I mean, there are some things I potentially found that suggest that we might, but like they're not. You can't actually get to them directly, and since I never actually found them, I'm not gonna talk about them. Even though you guys probably already know what I'm talking about. What else are we gonna talk about? I can't remember. I mean, there are thoughts that we're gonna go like inside the pyramid at the end of the season, which would be pretty fucking cool. Oh yeah, and speaking of the darkness and the pyramids, I want to talk about like an idea that something else that came up with me. That I want to ask you guys your opinion on this. What do you think about the idea of stasis? What do you think about stasis as an element? I like that they're introducing new elements. I don't know about them specifically being darkness elements though. Because I mean, we should technically already have a cold element with cold heart being a thing. And I'm wondering if they'll need to like patch the game to show that cold heart does stasis damage. Unless, oh wait, but then again, with the way cold heart works, it would also make sense if it does arc damage. Oh my god, I thought I was actually gonna die in this moment, like, soon. I thought I was gonna die pretty soon, I think. Or wait, no, my near-death experience doesn't come up yet. But, like, the idea of darkness-infused, elements being specific to the darkness or light, I don't buy that. Because there are literal attacks that, like, say, okay, there's an attack in Destiny 1 that wizards use named Darkness Bolt. It doesn't do any sort of special darkness damage. It does arc damage. There are attacks that do question mark damage because they can't really say they have a damage type. But either way, I don't like the idea of elements being specifically darkness or light. I don't buy it. And you know what? I think it. Oh yeah, you watch this. Watch that failure. Watch that failure of a third shot right there. And watch how I'm just not even giving this Thrall the time of day. Because those Void bolts are more important to me. Void makes sense to be neither, actually, though I will say that. Because Void is like a balance between the two. And while you might say, but darkness is nothingness, it's not. Darkness, while it might be agreed upon while scientists might agree upon it being the absence of light, there's a little more, that's just like one specific definition. If we go into more darkness as a quality or trait, like and light being a trait, like light being the trait of how well an object shines versus how much it blocks out light. You know what I mean? They're kind of the same thing, two sides of the same coin type of thing. Then you know, then it makes sense for the elements both elements to be controlling them.
This message means contrast in the naturalistic sense, but also implies a judgment. Humanity assigns moral meaning to change, interpreting it as for better or for worse. Do we think of winter as evil because summer flowers must wither and die? We do not. And the darkness asks us why.
Yeah, I'm wondering about yeah, I really do think that People of the Darkness is not going to be the antagonist in the end.
Before a change, the cusp, the brink. But it is a repetition of something that has already happened. A mistake from which no knowledge was gained. The collapse. Perhaps. Troubling.
Yeah. It's all so interesting. It's interesting to think about. So, but what do you guys think about the idea of elements being specifically light or dark aligned? Because right now I'm not buying it, but that's just me. Also, we're gonna get to the other half of the footage, and I'm gonna want to talk about some other things too.
Tree of silver wings.
Yeah, I recorded in the middle of the line, but whatever. Also, something random that I would just want to bring up now. I love how Nokris was like, the Taken Queen saves, freedom from bondage. It's like, that's just your experience. But what about other experiences? I mean, is she still taking? Because that's not freedom from bondage, my friend. But whatever. It is what it is. So anyways. Oh, yeah. Um, hmm. There was something I wanted to say, but I can't remember what. Oh. Um. What do you guys think about? Actually, I do want to talk about something else while we're here. What do you guys think about certain weapons and how they're doing, like certain weapon types and how they're doing in PvP and PvE? Or actually, specifically PvE, because as much as I like PvP, the PvE is the main portion of the game, and if the weapons are not performing well there, there's a problem. There's more of a problem than there is for PvP, because PvE is where we need to have our freedom, like to use whatever weapons we want. So, specifically, now I actually am using a hand cannon this one. I'm using Luna's Howl. And I gotta say, I feel like its pinnacle perks are I feel like the only reason it's doing so well is it's a pinnacle weapon, and that hand cannons in themselves are not doing as well as they used to be. And I want to know what you guys think about all that. And that was a really stupid death there. Like, do you guys think hand cannons are doing well in PvP? Yay? Nay? Eh. Or in PvE, sorry, not PvP. I know auto rifles in particular, I think they're doing well, at least the ones that I'm using. Pulse rifles I'm not sure about. Scout rifles definitely need a buff, as far as I know. Sidearms I'm not too sure on. I haven't used them in a long time. I definitely want your opinions on that one. Honestly, I want your opinions on all of them. But I just want to know, like, in general, what do you guys think should be buffed? Or what do you think is, or maybe what needs to be nerfed? And not just primaries, all weapon types. We should probably exclude pinnacles and exotics from our discussion, just because if an exotic's doing good, I'm gonna say this: good. It needs to be doing good. If it's doing bad, then it needs to be buffed. If it's doing okay, it probably needs to be buffed. Because if it's a waste of an exotic slot, that's a problem. Now, pinnacle weapons, I feel like sometimes they're not really good enough to be called exotic, but they're definitely better, or they shouldn't be called legendary, and I'm wondering about that. Like, Mountaintop probably should have been an exotic. Wendigo probably should have been an exotic. What do you mean abandoned? You know, I wonder what he means by you are abandoned. I never got that. But yeah, it took like 4 shots to kill that phalanx there. Is that normally how much it would take? I feel hand cannons I think used to do be one shots against scions. So you know what? I feel like even Luna's Howl. It's like, what are we doing, guys? Why does it feel like it's not doing as well? But anyways, that's just me. I understand why some people might not feel the same way. Was there anything else I wanted to bring up? Because I really can't remember if there was anything else I wanted to bring up or not. That was a bad jump. Why the fuck did I try jumping like that? Oh yeah, other weapons. But like scout rifles, I know are definitely not doing that good for PvE either. Hand cannons are actually doing good for PvP, though. I will say that. Scout rifles are in the worst state, though, because they need to buff for PvE and PvP. But let's move on to special weapons, just because oh yeah, SMGs. SMGs I don't know about yet. Recluse is, you know, Recluse did feel like it should have been an exotic when it first came out, but they nerfed it, so I'm wondering if they should bring it back, and then, but like, as an exotic. Because personally, I wouldn't mind if they did that. If they buffed it and made an exotic. Like, they removed the old Pinnacle quests and basically changed up the weapons directly. I would have absolutely no problem with that, Bungie. Because I feel like the only reason they're doing sunsetting is because of weapons like Mountaintop and Wendigo and Recluse. Maybe not so much Luna's Howl. I'm not sure on that one, but eh. I don't know. I actually am gonna like see if I can get some attention on this later. Seriously. Like, if you like bring up the idea everywhere if you want, like make those weapons exotic. I mean, they did it to weapons before. They can do it again. And really, we already know, but here's the thing though, it's probably not going to matter because we already know that they're only doing sunsetting to make us grind for loot that we already had before. So, you know, thanks Bungie, we really appreciate that fucking bullshit. No, seriously, I love you guys, but seriously, that is some fucking bullshit. So, I've got to say, I'm really, like, I was in the middle on sunsetting before. Now I'm, like, definitely like, no, it's bullshit. But like, it feels like they're punishing every weapon because of stupid shit like Mountaintop and Recluse. And Recluse isn't even that good anymore. Oh yeah, let's talk about special weapons too. Special weapons are in a weird state because in PvP they're doing fan-fucking-tastic. And in PvE they're actually pretty damn good too, depending on which ones. Shotguns are pretty good. Fusion rifles are probably less good in PvP, but they're still pretty good. Special grenade launchers, they're probably gonna. I have a feeling that they're like at least decent, but I don't know about that one. I haven't really used one in a long time besides Mountaintop. So don't quote me on that one. Witherhoard's an exotic, and so like I shouldn't be counting that. But yeah, shotguns are doing fairly well in PvE. I don't know if they need a damage buff or not. I definitely know they don't need a nerf though. Sniper rifles, I feel like they need a buff. Because they used to be good for they used to be good as like a secondary DPS. Just to give an example of something they were good for. Another thing they were good for was actually I'm trying to think of another example. Like, they were good for DPS, like, as a secondary DPS option after your heavy weapons were all used up. And they were also good for majors and ads. I don't see them doing good on majors anymore. Really. People don't like using sniper rifles, and I feel like that's a problem. Because they were good, they used to be good in Destiny 1, now they're not. So those are really the only 4 special weapons I can think of are like the sniper rifles, shotguns, fusion rifles, And unless there's something else I'm like completely forgetting. Oh yeah, I want to mention bows real quick just to give them a quick mention while we talked about primaries. Bows I feel like are doing okay. Cuz they bows are actually decent for PvE as far as I see, as far as I know. So, you know, there's that to at least think about and be thankful for. And be thankful for. But yeah, there's only the 4 types of special weapons. I think about it. While like, there's right, shotguns, sniper rifles, fusion rifles, and grenade launchers. While there's a multitude of primaries, or while there's a lot more primaries. Heavy weapons. Let's see, machine guns definitely need a buff. Grenade launchers are probably right where they are. I mean, machine guns definitely need a buff though, because looking at them, they've been doing fucking shit for damage lately in PvE. Rocket launchers definitely need a buff as well. Like, we don't even, like, I'm gonna say that out of the 4, they're the ones that need the buff the most, probably. Just because the fact that compared to grenade launchers, they do worse damage is a problem. Because grenade launchers, it's good. They're good for like, because they're good for either ads or DPS. That's the thing. I feel like rocket launchers should be better. I feel like grenade launchers should be.
Linguistic oddity, a back channel, a vocal nod, a yes. The darkness implores us to continue on our current path. Apparently, it believes itself to be quite supportive. Curious.
Yeah, that is pretty curious. I do like that they're introducing the darkness as an ally, though, because I don't like the idea of light good, darkness bad. That's stupid bullshit, and I hate it. It happens too often. But yeah, rocket launchers definitely need a buff, I would say.
This message means contrast in the naturalistic sense, but also implies a judgment. Humanity assigns moral meaning to change.
And are there any? Oh, linear fusion rifles. That's the one I'm not too sure on. I wonder if linear fusion rifles should be nerfed and moved to special weapons, maybe, or maybe there should be like it should be like with grenade launchers, where there's some specials, some heavy. Anyways, I'm gonna end the clip here, actually, or end my little talk here, just because we're nearing the end of this. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. I seriously answer the questions in the comments if you guys want, or talk about it with your friends. What do you guys think needs to be buffed and nerfed? What do you guys think about stasis? I'm curious. I want to see your guys' opinions. All right, guys. I will see you in the next one, where hopefully I'm a little less sick, because I'm still a little sick. But yeah, laters, guys.